Yeah, great. Okay. Hi everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Alice from Simply Dynamics, and welcome to our webinar on SD LinkBox. So using SD LinkBox, you can drag and drop different files and different file types and attach, into any page in Dynamics 365 Business Central. And link or attach these files to a specific record in your database. So these files are dropped to a storage location called a drop point, which is surfaced on the page in this area here called the drop area. And depending on the setup for your storage location, you can do, or for your drop points, you can do various things with the files. You can drag and drop a file, and you can, just 1 second here, get my example. All right, bear with me. You can drag and drop a file, and you can version control these files that you're linking to the record using check-in, check-out functionality, which I'll show you later on. You can also grant security permissions on the dropped file, so only allowing particular users to upload to a certain drop area or storage location, and allow only certain users to view or edit or delete the files from the storage area. You can also define and alert on the document expiry dates, which and set that up on the drop point, which is why I had to enter a date there for that file that I dropped up, because we've set alert and expiry dates on that drop point storage. So in SD LinkBox, we call all these storage areas in your database where you're dragging and dropping your files and attaching them and linking them to the records in your database. We call these drop points. So this example here, we've got two drop points in our drop point area. So in SD LinkBox, the drop point storage can be either Dynamics 365 Business Central database storage. You can use Azure Blob storage, OneDrive storage, or Dropbox storage. And the files dropped to all these drop points can be size controlled. So if we just go back in here, and in that demo page there, our customer demo page, we see we have two drop areas, our safety certs and our permits and licenses. So we'll just go in and we'll take a look at our drop point setup for our safety certs drop point. So we can see here in the safety certs drop point, its database storage, its storage type is set to database. And you can set a file limit on the, a size limit on the maximum file size that you can upload to the drop point. So files up to a max of 2 gigs can be uploaded, except for those drop points that have the storage type of OneDrive, and the maximum size limit there is set to 600 megabytes. So in our drop point area, in our storage location, we can choose to version control the files that you drag and drop to the drop point and link and attach to your record. You can also turn on document expiry on files uploaded and attached to records. And that's useful for files such as safety certs or insurance certs, where you need to keep track of the expiry date of any of the files. And you can set up a warning date formula, which gives you an alert or a warning on when the files are due to expire. So also, as I said, you can limit the file types as well. We go in here, so you can limit the file size. You can also limit the file types. And for this safety certs drop point, we have restricted the types just to Word documents and text documents. So they're the only files that you're able to upload to that drop point. And if you leave this section here blank, you can upload files of any type. In the table links fast tab here in the drop point setup, this is where you define the table or tables where this drop point will link the files to. So in this example here, for this drop point safety certs, we can drag and drop files and link them to records in the customer table and to records in the item table. I'm just going to skip over this part here with the document report number. I'll show you that later. And the template files, we'll take a look at that later as well. But it's here in the Permissions Fast tab, where you can define what user groups can upload, view, or edit and delete the files in the drop point area. So you can select here from your permissions and define and link them here. So I'm actually in a local container environment at the moment, so it's kind of like a virtual environment almost at the moment. So I'm not up on the public cloud or in an on-prem version, which is why you can't see any of the user groups here. But in your own environment, you'd have your list of Dynamics 365 Basic. That'd be your user group. You can then choose to upload, give that group upload permission, or you might just want to give them view permission. So it gives you security permissions on your documents. Okay, so for this safety search drop point, we can drag and drop files to link to records in either the item table or the customer table. So we'll just navigate now to the item list and we'll just upload a few files there. Okay, so if we just go to the standard items list. Okay, and again, because this is on my local machine, it's just taken a bit of time. I was in and out of here earlier and there was no problems at all. But this is just lagging now on my side. Nothing to do with the weather, I don't think, or maybe it has. Okay. Okay. So if I was to navigate to any area now in this environment, it would be slow as well. It's not nothing to do with what I'm showing you here. Give it a refresh there. There we go. Just as I've clicked out, sorry, go back in again. Apologies now for this. As I say, only when I'm presenting, not when I was going through everything 5-10 minutes before we all started, everything was working fine. Right, I'll leave it sit there for a minute. Anyway, okay, so I suppose I'll just recap while I'm waiting for this. It's what we've gone through so far. Okay, so we've had a look at, we can limit our file types, and we can limit our file sizes. The table links, you can define the table or tables where the drop point will link the files to. Okay, thank you very much, Chrome's database, for finally coming back to life. Okay, so here we are now in the items. So as I said, the reason we're coming in here was so I could just show you how easy it is just to drag and drop the file up and how you're just prompted to enter your expiry dates. And I'll show you about the versioning as well. Okay, so we have examples here of a few files that have been dragged and dropped. And I will drop one up for this record here. So we're attaching this file here, this text file. I'm using very simple files and small files just for the demo. So nothing fancy, just nice and simple. Okay, so we've loaded up this file. We've entered our expiry date as per our drop point settings when we're turning on the enforce document expiries. And we can check this file out now. So we just can check out the file. It's going to download it to our downloads folder. So I will save this. And I'll go to my downloads folder here, just off screen. It's going to make a small change. And then we'll just check the file back in. We're just going to drag and drop the file. And it's prompting us again with an expiry date because we have the enforce expiry date turned on. And the file has been checked back in again. So I don't know if you noticed there, but when you check a file out, it's highlighted in green. And if another user has a file checked out, it's highlighted in red. So this is another user has this file checked out. So it just gives you a visual display of who has files checked in and checked out. So if we go back into the file there that we've just dropped up, the one that we have made a change to, we can go into the version history. And we can see here that the file was version 1, the file was dropped up at this time, who dropped it up, that was checked out again, and another version was created when it's checked back in. So you can choose to view earlier versions of the file, or you can also revert to an earlier version of the file all from here. So this is just all about your version controlling of your files. Okay, so as I just mentioned, if a user has checked out a file, you can send them a check-in reminder to remind them to check the file back in. So by doing that, you can just simply select here and do a send check-in reminder, and that'll create a notification for the user to check the file back in again and back into the drop point. So you can see here that a user in another user has sent me a request here to check back in the document that I've checked out. You can see the drop point, sorry, not the drop point, you can see the file that it's referring to, the record it's relating to. So it's an item record. It's on the item table and it's that record there. So if you were to click open page, you're actually brought to a page which is filtered down to that record. And I won't click on that now because this environment will probably go laggy on me again. Yeah, so again, these file check-in reminders, if we go back to the role center, or also you can just search for SD LinkBox here in the search bar and go to that task page. You can see here any check-in reminders that you have received from other users. And again, you can open it there and check the file back in. So also here in the role center or in this tasks page, you can see here the expiry dates queue. And this is where you can drill in and you can see all your files that have expiry dates, and it highlights the files, it tells you what drop point they're on, and it highlights the files that are nearing expiry or that have expired. You can also go into your drop points queue from here and just get an overall view of your documents. And you can check here and see the expiry alerts. So you can see these documents are nearing expiry and this document has expired 12 days ago. So it just lets you action on those. Okay, and you can also view any checked out files. And you can see who has the files checked out. Okay, so just another thing just to show you, I'll just show you how you can just easily restrict the files that you can drag to the drop point by file size or file type. So I just have a PDF file here that is over 5 megs in size. And in our safety certs drop point, we've defined that we can only upload documents of Word or text. There are file types there. And in the permits drop point, I think I have this limited to PDF only. I do. Okay. So we can just set up the size limit here. So we'll restrict it to 5 megs, let's say. So that is entered in kilobytes. I'll just go back out to our customer demo here. Okay, let's drag and drop the file. So we try and drag it to the safety certs. We won't be able to because it's only files of text or document. So you can just say invalid file type. And if we try and drop it here, we won't be able to because it exceeds the limit. Okay, so it's that simple just to set up those restrictions. Okay, so now I'll just show you how to create a starter template file that you can auto insert and link a startup attachment file to records that you want to link your documents to. So we'll just go in here into this customer documents drop point that I've set up. Okay, so I'll just enable this drop point. Okay. So that's just giving me a notification there because I've gone in on a list filter down to disabled drop points and I've just enabled this. So it's just the filter has changed. Okay, so we can see here, again, we're using database storage examples all this time. But what I will show you here is how using these file templates, the template files, I've imported a document here. And so this file is now, say, a template file for this drop point. What you can do then, if you created a template file, you can choose then for every customer, you're going to deploy this template file to that customer, or it could be part of a process. I just have an example here, customer credit review document, that maybe as you work your way down through your customers, you can auto insert this template file. So if we just go back out then to our customers list. Okay, here we go again. Lagging. Okay, not too long, thankfully. We can see our new drop point here, our customer documents, and we can just select a record here, this customer record. So we just simply go in here and we want to add the template file. So it's going to prompt us here now, is this the template? Because you could have a number of different templates attached to your drop point for whatever reason. You just do OK. And then that file has been linked, automatically inserted there to that record for that drop point. Okay, so, and you can choose, we don't have version history on here, so you just simply download the file, make your changes, and just drag and drop it back up. Okay, so again, in the customer documents drop point, we can have a look at how you can attach a report to the drop points, or to the record, should I say, the records you want to attach or link the file to. So this example, this drop point here, I've set up that you can run a report, say customer detailed trial balance, and when you run that report out in the drop point, it's going to attach that report for that customer to the record. Okay, and you can actually choose to do a test report in here once you've chosen your document number. Sorry, I just got a bit too fast here. So you can choose from your list there of any reports in your database. There are all the standard reports. Once you've added the report, you just give it a file name with no extension on it, just the name of the file that it's going to generate. You can choose to just test the report. Just choose one of our Cronus customers that I know has a balance. So this just allows you to check beforehand, once you're setting up these reports in your drop point, that it does, the report will work, because it would be based on the customer table. Okay, I can just open that there. Okay, that's after downloading there to my local. So the report has passed the test successfully. Okay, so we'll go back out. Again, we'll just go back into our customer demo. Scroll down here to our drop point. And for someone that has a balance, we will just choose to attach the report. Okay, so the report is run and it's attached there just to that record, the one that we ran the report for. And we can just go right into that file there. And we can just view the file. And we can see the trial balance report for that customer, 20,000, has been created and linked to that customer record. Okay, so I've shown you how you can easily drag and drop your files to attach to and link to the records, or you can upload a file to any record in Dynamics 365 Business Central just by dragging it to the drop area on the page. And in LinkBox, we have surfaced this drop area and these dropped files, fact boxes, by default onto, I suppose, pages like the customer list and customer card, items list, I think it's on quotes, sales orders, invoices, vendors, all of these. It's been surfaced on all these pages out of the box as extensions. But for those pages where we haven't surfaced the drop area or dropped filed fact boxes, say, for example, like your bank accounts page. We don't have it on that one. So the drop area fact box and dropped file fact boxes aren't visible here, but we've have a facility in LinkBox itself, which allows you to create a page extension within LinkBox to create these fact box areas. So if you just go in here to this create page extensions, so you could just choose, okay, I want to add the drop area fact box and dropped file fact boxes to my currency. So you go in, you create your drop point, you'd create a table link to your currencies table, and then you go in here, choose the page, or it could be the bank accounts, whatever one you want to surface it onto. You just create your app and then you publish your app. And then you'll see those dropped area files and fact boxes appearing on the page. Also, just to mention, which I didn't earlier, we also have functionality in LinkBox to link to DocuSign. So you can create, once you turn your DocuSign configuration on, you can send your files from a drop point, and you can send the files to DocuSign from a template, and then send your document for any of your, say if you've linked to a customer, and you can send it to a recipient, your customer recipient, and have the file attached to the record. Okay, so just one final thing, LinkBox, it is available for download, available up in Marketplace or App Source, and you can avail of a 30-day free trial. There is no need for any credit card details or anything at all to avail the free trial. Just search for LinkBox there, where you could download it in your sandbox environment. Just click on the free trial. And then when you're back in the setup card, once you've installed it, you can just go in here, activate the product to activate your free trial, and then just choose this assisted setup action, which will import some demo data into your sandbox environment for you. Okay, so that's it. I suppose a quick tour of LinkBox and its abilities to drag and drop and link your files, different file types to any record in Dynamics 365 Business Central. Has anyone any questions?
Hi, yeah, I've got a quick question. We have Business Central 2018 technical upgrade, which is on premises. Yeah. Is it possible to link to an area on our server rather than Dropbox, OneDrive, etc.?
So you're probably an on-prem environment, is it?
Yes.
Yeah. So because you're not on the cloud, you can set up the storage can be out on The network, as far as I know, yeah, so you'd be using an earlier version of LinkBox, so that facility would be there, yeah, that you can link either database or folder storage for an older version of LinkBox. Yep.
That's great, thank you.
Okay. Okay, Aileen?
Yeah, perfect, Alice. Thank you very much for that.
Thank
you. We'll be sharing out the webcast later on. Once we put it out on our channel, we'll share the link with you. And yeah, well done, Alice. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.